Hey there, bucket listers. We talked a couple of weeks ago. One of you asked about painting lavender fields, and so I'm going to start this today. I showed you on last week's video on how to make things appear as if they recede, and they start out wide, and then as they go back, they get narrow. When I painted this field of dirt, I started with darker muted colors back here. I had some burnt umber, some burnt sienna, and some lavender, or some, not lavender, dioxazine purple in there. And so I wanted to have that purple feel even in the dirt. So that's what I've done, and as I came forward, I added more rust, the burnt sienna, I added more orange, I added some yellow, and it still always had a little bit of the purple in it, but not as much as it came here. Now I have the green. I gave myself some little rows here so I kind of know where I'm going. And so I've mixed up some Hooker's green, some dioxazine purple, and some titanium white. I've added a little bit of blue. I was trying to get the right color. I'm trying to get some green here. I don't want purple, but because lavender feels, you know, the plant itself is kind of light colored and it's lavender. So we're going to see how this is going to work. This might still, I'm going to add some more white to it right now because what I'm seeing is still too dark. There we go. I think that might work better. Now, the plants that are closest to you are going to be more defined and more to where you can tell what they are. And I have a flat brush. We'll see how that works. Right now, I'm not happy with that, but we'll see. Okay, that's not going to work. Let's pull out another brush, clean that one out, set it aside. I think maybe take my glasses off. I've got some script liners that are good and a round brush. That's good. Let's see what we like with this. This is how you decide, do I like what I have? Is it going to work? Okay. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. And my paint is not too mixed. So there's some little white showing in the plant itself, which is good, because the plant actually has some white going up in through the leaves of it. And you have to be very careful here. Very light pressure here. You might have to come back and tap your brush in the water if it's not flowing well. Now let's just see. We're going to start our second plant here. Now it needs to be a little smaller than the first one, and I'm not happy with that color. Looks kind of like a blob. Light pressure, very light pressure. There we go. Okay, I'm liking that much better. Now, this is just watercolor paper that I have taped on a board. So I'm not expecting anything wonderful out of this, but this is a learning process. So again, here comes some more, another plant. And as they go away, they get smaller and less defined. Okay, so there's one. Let's go ahead and get the next row in. I'm going to bring a little bit of that dark paint. There we go. See, I like how that, the light and the dark contrast really is excellent for. Now these first two are not going to be a lot different. Okay, this one and this one. It's once they start to go back. And again, the pressure has to be so light on that brush that you're just flicking it. The plant's going to get smaller. It's going to get more muted. It's not going to be as defined as this first row here will be. They'll get a little closer together too. So what you want to do is put them in there. They get closer as they go back. They get smaller. There, okay, so you can see how that's going to work. We're going to do one more row so you can see, and then we'll start to put the lavender on it. Okay, this is all one shade. I don't like that. Got to pull up some more dark in order to, there we go, to give it that definition. You won't get any definition with the same solid color. So here, this one's farther apart. And you can see I'm just kind of flicking it. I want these pointy edges on the ends of those things. And you can only get that by the flick part of it. Letting it flare out there. Here comes another one. All the movement is right here. Right here, see? Closer, smaller plant, but not, you'll see it where it needs to be as it goes back. Okay, now that plant needs to really start to get smaller. Much less definition, closer together. There. Okay, so now you can see how that works. Now I'm going to rinse out my brush. I'm going to come back in between these rows because the plants are lifted up. They're higher on this dirt. So we need some darker soil in. And I'm just popping it around. I'm not trying to, there. It should be wider in here. It's just bouncing around. And then it should get narrow, like it goes back. It's the same concept for every part of this painting. Okay, so now I'm going to clean that brush out. Now I'm going to mix up some dioxazine purple and some white. I'm not mixing it too much. I want there to be a lot of difference there. I don't want it to be one solid shade. Now I'm rinsing that brush out and I'm going to get out my script liner because you want those. Okay, so I've dipped it in the water. I'm rolling it in the paint. You have to, if you use a script liner, you have to roll it in the paint. You can't just dab at it and pick it up. Okay, so here we have, we're going to do these three. Just touch. They need movement. Okay, so then you're going to do the same thing over here. They're tall. They stick out over that green. Same thing here. Here, that was a little too thick right there. I could come back and fix that. Got to get my glasses down over the top. A long streak, very light pressure. There's not too much flicking going on here. I'm adding some darker colors there. Okay, so these ones in the front are going to be much more defined, just like the plant. And if you can get back on that brush and just very lightly pull that up. Now go into, I have on my palette, I mixed dioxazine, purple, and white. And I have a dark part of that, and then a mid-tone and a light. So I just put my brush in the light part, and I want to come over here and add some lighter colors to that. Okay, so you can see how it's going to go all the way back. Now as it goes back, these ones back here are all going to be the darker color. You're not going to have a lot of variation because you're trying to show the distance. They need to have some movement, meaning they can't all be straight. Some can be straight, but not all. As it goes back, I'm going to pick up more darker color. And I'm just going to put them in there like that. I'm not going to be too fussy with it. The more you piddle and play in it, the less satisfied you will be, I can guarantee you. Okay, so you can see how these are very formed, and as they go back that row, they're less and less. So I hope this makes sense. I hope that you're going to go ahead and work on this painting and see what you can do. Remember, it's always the contrast. If your plants look too flat, it's because you've got either too much dark or too much light and not enough contrast. There has to be that value in there. It has to, you can't see the dark without the light. So you have to have both of those colors, particularly these ones right here in front, like the first 2 or 3 maybe back. And after that, no, you don't. But these here, to get across what it is, you have to do that. So thanks a lot. Have a Okay, I just want to finish up the painting with you. I went ahead and did exactly what I did in all these rows, all the way across. Then I started off with a sky, just like I do every sky. It's darker at the top, it gets lighter as it comes down. I didn't blend too much. I wanted it to be, I don't know, kind of moody or kind of stormy looking. And so then I just put some very light, easy bushes and things in the distance, not detail at all, just so you know you're looking across a field of lavender at you don't know what's behind it there. It's just more farmland maybe, or more trees or whatever. But you can tell all the ones here in the front are bigger, and they could have actually even spread out and almost touched each other. And then as they go back, they get smaller, they get closer together, there's less detail, but you can still see the different shades of green. I didn't spend too much time on them because I particularly these ones from here on back, I didn't want them to stand out. These are your shining stars right in here. This is just basic filler to give the complete impression that that it's a field of lavender. And then, of course, the dark in the center to help the rose sink down in there. So anyway, that's pretty much how we finished it up today. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. And I sure would love to see your version of this. Whether it be a drawing or a painting or whatever, I would love to see that you gave it a shot, you tried it, you learned some things. I'd love to see what you did, and I'd like to hear from you as to what you learned during the process. So thanks a lot. Have a great day. Let's paint together again real soon.